The moderator to this session, Dr. Naresh Maheshwari, Chairman, Farsight Group. Over to the moderator.
So friends, after a marathon meeting of the morning on the investor education, in my initial remark I told you there are only 3D in investor education: deterrent, detect and defend. And the same thing we are discussing since morning. So you must be wondering what next we can deliver. What new thing we can deliver? The issue is not only how to identify stock. Issue is not only how to use the best practices. Then what is the issue? And despite these marathon meetings, I think we are now part of this investors meeting for last 20 years. The same old issues still persist. Why? I think the investor understand the language of the money. If you show where the money is and how it is directly affecting your financial balance sheet, how it is affecting your financial net worth, how it is going to affect your work, then probably the message is taken fast. Now it is up to us and my panel what new things we can give. Of course, we have learned a lot since morning, but it's such a vast field. Many things we have not explored yet. And if you understand how to make money from this market, which was the main subject matter of the previous session, still I think we can find out, because from there if we link to the protection, if we link there the cautions we have to exercise, probably we'll be able to do the justice. To start with, let us have some discussions. Can anybody from the audience tell me, in last 1 year, which was the issue which got highest oversubscription? Public issue IPO, which was got the highest oversubscription. Number of times, 100 times, 102 times. Anybody from the audience? Last 1 year, please. Anybody else? I'll give you answer at the last, just to keep your interest right. Okay, now we can discuss another second question. Do you know the all SME segment issue? The SME was very isolated, and it was given that it is not, the companies are not like a startup, technology based, small based, and that's why may not come on the main board. But history of last 2 years says that almost all SME shares, the subscription is almost 100 times. And most of the issues, most of my investors are facing that, okay, I'm applying n number of times, I'm applying 5 applications, but I'm not getting any allotment. Have you ever experienced that your rightful application has been rejected? Or do you know how to put a application on SME so that you can get some allotment, which is price in all SME segment are now getting maybe 3 times open, listing gain 3 times, listing gain 4 times, application 100 times. I think these are the questions. These are also investors' issues. I think now you probably trying to find out what will be pitch, what would be the now topics to be allotted to my panel members, that they have to link where the money is, why investor is not getting. First, that is the first step. Second, why they are losing money, how to identify, how to compensate, how to find out that they don't lose. And third, if something goes wrong, what are the options available to us? What are the easiest way to take care of the IGP, investor grievances, score, ODR, so many things are there. And of course, the nomination. I think the why people are not really responding to the nomination, I think need not the topic of this panel, but still, because there are a lot of queries are there. The law of nomination is still not clear. That is the whole problem. Number one, except company law, in all other cases, nominee only is a trustee. He is only an executor. He doesn't get any right. But when 2014 Companies Act changes, they say that he will be absolute owner, and that has yet to see the final finding of the court. Because can a provision of the Company Act can supersede the Indian Succession Act? Because ultimately Succession Act meant only for those purposes. So those are the basic issues. Therefore, whether you have to nominate compulsory, not to nominate compulsory, option why it should be given or not to be given is there. As far as the details were concerned, earlier, initially, when NSDL citizens formed, they wanted details of just to identify purpose. You give the details of PAN, details of something. The purpose was only to give the details to identify, to help in identification. But if you don't give any details, even then it is okay. Like in case of overseas, you just give the passport number, it is enough. So even you don't have PAN, nothing required. Don't have anything, nothing required. If you want to give, now there are columns, and that after a lot of things, the form has been changed. So things are very clear. And now, whether this nomination form has got any precedent over the will or not, that issue itself has not been decided. And why you require a format for nomination? The Indian Succession Act says that any nominee, if I say male, after my death, so and so is the nominee, that is enough. So why, and you find a lot of issues on that, nomination form is not there, comma is not there. So I think a lot of issues on there. So I think for nomination, a major marathon work is to be done by the exchanges and the depositories. You will not find any much literature. I think a public notification, a public advertisement can come. Ultimately, the whole thrust has been given to the intermediaries, and intermediaries itself may not be the legal luminaries. Because the nomination is not a simple thing. It is dealing with the properties of worth several crores of rupees. So I think that's why we will expect that at this stage we will not take more questions on nomination. We'll take questions only relating to the investors. To start with, very simple thing. I think I introduce my panel. I think we have a very good blend. You see, all our professionals, people engaged in the day-and-day stockbroking, and we are representing the exchanges, we are representing NSDL, we are representing BSE, everybody is there, and professor academics also. So all we are practical practitioners, and boss is here, our academic professor, and we have the pleasure, we are joining so many sessions with him. So why not I start with Saurabh, because he is not the man out, you are the leader. Okay, so my question is very simple. Why investor is not making money?
So very good afternoon. I would like to start my session with paying my respectful obeisances to Shri Naresh ji and to the august audience here. I think the answer to your question is in the book Psychology of Money. And I quote one small story from there. There is one person who is Harvard educated, leaves his job, starts his own business, broking business, takes a 18,000 square feet space in the hub of New York City, and then comes the 2008 crisis and everything goes away. And then there is another person, he's a janitor in a small city of America which nobody knows, and he every month gets some salary. He bought some house, and what he does is, whatever small salary he gets, 80% of it he saves. He does not spend on anything. Very simple living, has 3 children, still he saves. And he used to invest every time all that money in blue chip stocks. When he died, he made headlines. He ended with a wealth of $8 million, out of which $6 million he donated to a public library of his place, and $2 million to his 3 children. And that is how philanthropy was talked about. I think all of us who are sitting here want to create wealth. There is no question. And all of us know by putting all our money in fixed deposits, we can never get wealthy. So that's the basic question of this entire topic, field of security analysis and portfolio management, which is closest to my heart. I've done my PhD from FMS, University of Delhi, in that area. In fact, I would say even the small task of creating an FD requires financial literacy. I prove my point. I have seen many people, wherever is the salary account, you make an FD there. While you will not believe, different banks, one bank offering 7.1%, another bank offering 7.5%. If you have 2 crores in a bank and 0.4 basis is the difference, you can imagine the amount of loss you are going to make. And it is possible both of them banks are equally having risk-weighted assets. Second, even they do not follow the laddering strategy. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You must distribute your fixed deposits also into different criteria. Not only this, when we talk about fixed income securities, many people do not know, government has come up with so many schemes like Sukanya Simriddhi, Senior Citizen Savings Scheme, PPF, Kisan Vikas Patrika, 5-year NSC, Post Office Monthly Income Scheme. Practically, people are not aware that you could anywhere earn between 7.1 to 8% by investing 8%, I'm saying 8% in today's time, by investing in these types of schemes. So practically, lot of information is required. Today is the time of choice. When I say choice, we have the investment of investing in equities, mutual funds, fixed deposit, sovereign gold bonds, real estates. In real estate, residential, commercial, and then we have the REITs. So practically you don't need to own full thing. You can just put 5,000 rupees and you can earn from the rental income of that. You can create SIPs, new pension scheme, commodities, cryptocurrencies, international investing. You like Alphabet, you like Facebook. So you could go ahead for international investing. I am aware of one person, you will not believe, he had so much love for 2 things, arts and antiques. All his life, he would not spend on food, but he would spend all his money on arts and antiques. When he died, and he lived the life of a pauper. When he died, you will not believe, he left a fortune for his family in terms of arts and antiques. So even arts and antiques has become a big wealth in today's time. So when we said 4 main classes, I think the classes has actually increased. But why do people do not make money is because they do not have the awareness. Today's topic, investor protection. I think SEBI must now come to a point where it talks about protection or overprotection. This is one very important, protection or overprotection. Education or influence. When we talk about education, all of us today are hooked on to Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. How much of SEBI is available on those portals? It's easy to say, do not follow the influencers. But is somebody from SEBI or their investor protection fund coming on to making those reels? I think that's the time I recommend. That is what is required, because the young generation and even our generation spends some time on such portals. I think why people don't make money, they don't talk about, they don't have the knowledge, awareness of market volatility, risk and return trade-off, lack of knowledge, timing the market, emotional decision making, diversification, regulatory and legal risk, liquidity risk, interest rate changes, inflation, currency risk, information overload, frauds and scams, high fees and cost, and finally psychological factors. When we saw, particularly I would give one example, when we had the COVID time, this was the first time retail investors did not move out. Otherwise, whenever there has been a crisis, 1987 October crash in US, people ran out. The dot-com bubble of 2000, people ran off. The Madoff crisis, people, the minute some crisis comes in, most people say, let us encash. Please understand, if all of the investors in the stock market want to encash at the same time, the stock market will crash. Any bank you go, if all the depositors at the same time want to take out the money, the banking system will collapse. The system works on a rotatory or a circulatory system, and that must go on. And I now, sir, would like to quote some very prominent people, you know, because I am from academics, some Warren Buffett. I will tell you how to become rich. So this is a very important line. Close the doors. So doors are closed here. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. People in general get interested in stock markets when the stock markets are going up. I have a portfolio. Currently my portfolio is giving me 24% positive return. And when I show this, many more of my friends and students become interested in the portfolio and in investing. The same portfolio some time back was giving me negative return of 20%. My current NPS portfolio is giving me negative returns. I think financial discipline is one thing which we forget. I continue to invest in my NPS portfolio even if it is giving me negative returns as systematic investment plan. I think the minute we see negative returns in financial assets, we get scared and we say this is bad, we should stick to the return giving generating assets. Chandrayaan-2 failed, but those who fail, they are in the process of first attempt in learning. We could create Chandrayaan-3 only from the fears and failures of Chandrayaan-2. So I think that is very important. Second, the stock market is filled with individuals who know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. I think valuation is very important, and Aswas Damodaran lectures are there on valuation. Why did people lose money in Paytm? This is a very important. Paytm, Nykaa, Zomato, people have lost money in these, while there were many IPOs people did not know and they made money. So practically it is very important that you buy anything at a right valuation. Before we buy any financial asset, real estate or any asset, we must buy it at a low price. Tatas, you know, when the Tatas started, they bought the first bankrupt mill in Chinchpokli in 1894. So I think Ellen Mittal, he takes up all bankrupt steel mills and converts them into a profit generating. I think that's the target which investors must follow. In investing, what is comfortable is hardly profitable. Robert Arnott. Every once in a while, the market does something so stupid, it takes your breath away. So right now, even the Reserve Bank of India and SEBI are saying caution. The market may have some correction, but in the long run, it will go up. So practically what happens is the minute correction comes in, when the markets are going up, you enter, so you buy at high, and the minute a small correction comes, it goes down by 1,000 points, 2,000 points, you say, oh, I have lost everything. So that's the time you must buy. People say you cannot time the market. Let me tell you, I have created my own personal strategy. Whenever the Sensex falls, that day I keep some amount of money and I buy Sensex Nifty 50 ETF. And that simple strategy for me. Whenever I see market is falling, it is time for me to be, I should not be cheerful, but that's the time I go and keep that surplus money into the ETFs. Know what you own and know why you own it. Peter Lynch. Investing should be more like watching paint dry and watching grass grow. If you want the excitement, take $100 and go to Las Vegas. This is by famous economist Paul Samuelson. So markets are not for excitement. You have to invest, see it grow, and slowly, slowly work for it. The 4 most dangerous words in investing are, this time, it's different. So practically, every time is the same time. And I now quote one small shloka from our Sanskrit, Bhatya Jagaram Abhutya Swapram. One can become wealthy by becoming aware, whereas one can become poor by being lazy. Everyone talks about Jeff Bezos. The minute I have taken one breath, he has earned $123,000. One breath. That is the kind of wealth that 1%. But how did he make it? By being aware. He saw there is one industry which is going at the rate of 300%. Why don't I try it? My salary grows at 8%. Even if I'm the worst performer, I may grow at 30%. Now this is the psychology. And I think most influencers are also in current time saying, companies which have investing in robotics, AI, analytics, solar, green energy, they are the companies of tomorrow, and infrastructure, they may grow. So I think you must be aware of certain key things. What are these key things? Technical analysis. There are many techniques. MACD, Bollinger Bands, you could learn them. Fundamental analysis, the valuation. Third, behavioral finance. Behavioral finance is, there are a lot of cognitive biases we have. Overconfidence bias, anchoring bias. We have to overcome these biases. How do we? We have to be aware of ourselves, our consciousness, how good we are. So one is the external factors, one is our biases. So behavioral finance is very important. Now, things are going at a meteoric speed. We have ChatGPT prescribed portfolios. So we have AI-based portfolios, neural network-based portfolios, robo-advising, which has come into India. I think many people are not aware of it, but all of it is happening, and people who follow it, they are making money. And one crux thing what I normally say is, Warren Buffett also says, buy the business. So as an academician, sir, I may not be into the businesses, but when I go into stock market, I feel I am buying the business. And as we saw in the morning, there are many risk analysis tools like Monte Carlo simulation, value at risk analysis. So at every minute, you can just press a button, the software will tell you, you will earn this much return, 18%, with a risk of 4%. So I actually know I can go down to 14%, I can go up to 22%. I have created a small 30-30-30-10 rule, which I normally give to every student I teach. What is this 30? First 30 is the real estate. You should have a roof over your head. Apna makan, apni respect. So the 30%, one must invest in one's house. Second 30%, how to run that house with the fixed income of the fixed deposits and other saving schemes I have just talked about. So that 30%, so 60% goes into this. Next remains 40%. The next 30% goes into equities, mutual funds, REITs, whatever you like. This is for growth in your portfolio. And last 10%, 8% for contingency, and as our culture says, 2% to be donated to Gaushala or any other social task you feel should be contributed to. So I say 30, 30, 30, 10%. And I was reading this investor awareness booklet created by Resurgent India. It has given the 60-40 rule. What is the 60-40 rule? 60% in equity and 40% in bond. So this is also two ideologies. I believe in the 30, 30, 30, 10. 8%, you know that 10%? Out of that 8%, 4% in gold and 4% for your cash contingency. If anyone follows this 30, 30, 30, 10 rule, I think he will make wealth, because what I say, if you earn 1 lakh rupee, put every month 5,000 rupee for gold. In a year, you are going to buy 10 grams of gold. In a lifetime, you are going to earn 400 grams of gold, which is good enough to pass on as legacy. So this is one very important point. What we saw is today why our markets are going up. And I have strong belief that in some time, we will have the greatest capitalized market in the world. The reason being, currently in July 2023, 15,245 crore is the investment that has been made in mutual funds. Now people are becoming systematic. Every month they are putting money in that. 22-23, it was 1,55,972. And the previous year it was 1,24,566 crores. So we are seeing almost an increase of 25,000 crores in the mutual fund sector, and this all investment goes into listed securities. So if you have regular demand, but the supply through IPO is not increasing so much, there is a rational demand push which will push up the prices. Also, India is very well globally positioned in today's time. A country like France is putting $1.4 trillion in our capital markets. So FPI investments are coming big way in India. What important point I feel is the role of research analysts, investment advisors, mutual fund distributors, intermediaries, depositories, financial services, credit rating agencies, these are overlapping. I think SEBI must come up with something, because what happens is, as a mutual fund distributor, I may do some task of investment advising. As a stock analyst or a research analyst, I may do some work of investment advisor. So to penalize a person, it may become very difficult for the market. So we have basically, in theory, 3 basic concepts. In the 50s and 70s, it was the time of Markowitz, Sharpe, Lintner, Jensen, which talk about optimization, highest possible return for a given level of risk. Then came another Eugene Farmer who said, no, we'll talk about efficiency of market, how efficient our markets are in terms of information. Okay, and now currently we are talking about behavioral finance. Just 1 minute more. Okay. Now, sir has given me a time, so I would like to just end with a last story. Remaining I'll talk later. I joined ESIC as a board member in 2018. They had a corpus of almost 85,000 crores. And you will not believe they were putting all the money in fixed deposits. When I joined, the investment strategy changed. They started investing in PSU bonds and SDLs. They were getting 5% at that point in their portfolio. That increased to 7%. And in last year, Honorable Bhupendra Yadav ji approved investment in ETFs also. I think if you really want to study the investment pattern of EPFO, they are earning 12% on their portfolio. I think seeing and learning is the best way, and government organizations like ESIC are learning, they are moving ahead. I think each one of us can also move ahead further. So with this I end right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So our next speaker, Jayant, is equally prolific. And I think the major constraint when we discuss the investor education is the trust building. Whether we say do's, don't do's, precautions, policies, procedures, contract, or whatever the way, ultimately the basic issue is how we are able to create a trust between the market structure consisting of intermediaries, exchange, everything, and the investors. When we talk of the overseas experiences also, the FINRA's basic principle is that it is the utmost duty to create a trust. And when we talk of trust, we only talk of the CK word. What is know your client, CY. But can we discuss know your broker? It should be CYB, not CYC. On that I request now Jen, how the role of intermediaries to create a trust, and what from the perspective of investors, how he can select a broker. Over to. I hope you must be aware he is a senior director in IIFL, and earlier we were having the blessing of Mr. Venkat. Earlier we were I think 5-7 times we were co-partner and co-PNOs with Venkat. Venkat is still there? Yeah. Okay. So now first time, so, but generally we were working with Venkat only. So now over to Jain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In fact, before I answer the question Mr. Naresh ji has asked, I will take 2 words from Saurabh ji ने जो बोला है वॉरेन बफे के बारे में. I hope इस हॉल में सब वॉरेन बफे के बारे में जानते हैं. ठीक है जी, दुनिया का सबसे गरीब आदमी वही है. तो वॉरेन बफे के 2-3 कोट हैं जो आपको थोड़ा बल्ब जलाएगा. पहला बल्ब यह है कि उसने पहले हिंदी में बोलता हूँ फिर इंग्लिश में बोलता हूँ. गरीब पैदा होना नहीं, हिंदी में बोलता हूँ बिकॉज चलो ओके, I'll speak in English. Okay, so what he said was, if you are born poor, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, it's your fault. इसका मतलब यह है कि पैदा अगर आप गरीब हुए हैं वो आपकी गलती नहीं है, लेकिन अगर मरते हुए तो अगर आप गरीब मरे वो आपकी गलती है. समझ में आ गया? दूसरी बात, आज वॉरेन बफे का एज है 92, 92 साल के हैं, जिंदा हैं, बढ़िया हैं. उन्होंने अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी चालू किया था 11 साल में. ठीक है जी. तो 10-15 साल पहले उनसे किसी ने सवाल पूछा कि आपका सबसे बड़ा रिग्रेट क्या है, यू आर द बिगेस्ट वेल्थ क्रिएटर फॉर योर सेल्फ टू द वर्ल्ड. उनका सबसे बड़ा रिग्रेट ये था कि I have started investing late. That means when he started investing at 11 years, he regretted that he invested late. ठीक है जी. तीसरा, no, investing late. वो 7 साल के उम्र में न्यूज़पेपर फेंका करते थे. उनका फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट 11 साल की उम्र हुआ था. तीसरी बात, उनका 99% वेल्थ, 99% वेल्थ जो आज खड़ा है, उनके 50 साल के उम्र के बाद उन्होंने किया है. दैट मीन्स उन्होंने अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट को इतना टाइम दिया है ताकि वो इस अनफॉर्चुनेटली आज जो एसोचैम का डिस्कशन है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कनेक्टिंग पॉइंट्स हियर. अब इशू क्या है, एटलीस्ट इंडिया में क्या है, सब लोग अमीर तो होना चाहते हैं लेकिन बहुत जल्दी होना चाहते हैं. कल परसों, फ्यूचर एन ऑप्शन, डे आफ्टर टुमारो. मतलब टिप्स कोई दे दे, आज अगर यहां से मैं निकलूं और 4 टिप्स किसी को दे दूं ना, भाई सब आज ही ले लेंगे विदाउट इवन आस्किंग कि व्हाई दैट कंपनी. जैसे सौरभ जी ने बोला, विदाउट बिफोर इन्वेस्टिंग यू शुड फर्स्ट नो वेयर आर यू इन्वेस्टिंग. वो कंपनी करती क्या है, कितने साल से कंपनी जिंदा है, कंपनी का प्रमोटर कौन है. थैंकफुली आज जो हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है ना फ्री मीडिया में, इट इज सो मच, वी आर सो फॉर्चुनेट. हमारे पास सारी इंफॉर्मेशन फ्री मिल रही है आजकल. यही इंफॉर्मेशन 20 साल पहले हमें ढूंढना पड़ता था कि कोई कंपनी का इंफॉर्मेशन पता कर ले. ठीक है. नाउ आई एम आंसरिंग क्वेश्चन नरेश जी ने जो बोला. आई थिंक we are so fortunate that we are standing today and we are on the cusp of biggest wealth creation which is going to happen in India. आप इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते यहां से जो अगला वेल्थ क्रिएशन हो रहा है, आप इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते जी. टुडे इफ यू आर born here, today we are live in India, and today if you are investor in India, that itself is the biggest boon you have got. 41 के लिए हो जाए बस. ये अमृतकाल का इन्वेस्टमेंट है जी. नंबर 3 विच इज इवन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, चाहे आप इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, डेट में कर रहे हो, पहले पैनल में बोला था, आपका एक गोल होना बहुत जरूरी है. आप मेरे कहने पे इक्विटी पे मत डालो जी, आप किसी के कहने पे फिक्स डिपॉजिट मत डालो जी, आप किसी और के कहने पे डोंट इन्वेस्ट इन रियल एस्टेट. और फर्स्ट गेट कन्विंस्ड व्हाई यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन इक्विटीज. मैं आपको इक्विटी का एक और नंबर बताता हूं. आज सबको पता है निफ्टी 19,500 है, 19,400 है, सेंसेक्स 66,000. सेंसेक्स और जीडीपी, सॉरी इंडिया का जो टोटल मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है बीएससी का, सारी कंपनी का जो मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है वो मेरे ख्याल से 325 लाख करोड़ है. कितना? 325 लाख करोड़ है. करेक्ट मी इफ समबडी इज फ्रॉम बीएससी. नंबर ठीक है. और इंडिया का जीडीपी अभी है 3.4 और 3.5 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स. मार्केट कैप और जीडीपी जो है ना, वो हाथों हाथ साथ चलते हैं, हाथ पकड़ के चलते हैं. 100:105, 100:110 चलता है. करेक्ट मी इफ दिस फिगर इज राइट. सो अगर अगले 5 साल में इंडिया हैज टू रीच $5 ट्रिलियन और इवन $7 ट्रिलियन, टुडे वी आर दी 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी इन द वर्ल्ड. ठीक है. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली नेक्स्ट 2 साल में शायद हम जर्मनी को और जापान को पीछे छोड़ देंगे. अगर ये हो गया, अगर इफ जीडीपी बिकम्स $5 ट्रिलियन और $7 ट्रिलियन एज पर व्हाट एवर एस्टिमेट्स, you have got absolutely nothing to say that your index will double from here. मतलब कोई दिमाग ही चलाने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये निफ्टी आज 19,600 पे है ना, डबल कितना हुआ? हाँ, 66. डबल कितना हुआ? आपको दुनिया की कोई रिसर्च रिपोर्ट पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है कि वो 2 लाख हो जाएगा या 1.5 लाख हो जाएगा. ये आपके सामने हो जाएगा. और एक और डेटा पॉइंट मैं आपको बताता हूं, आप दुनिया के किसी फंड मैनेजर को बिलीव ही मत करो कि वो पैसे बना के देगा, भूल जाओ. अगर आपने सालों साल सिर्फ सेंसेक्स में ही इन्वेस्ट किया होता या निफ्टी में ही इन्वेस्ट किया होता, पिछले 20 साल का सेंसेक्स का रिटर्न is close to 14.8%, which is double than your any fixed deposit you would have invested. आप किसी फंड मैनेजर को बिलीव ही मत करो जी, वो तो फंड मैनेजर तो पता नहीं कौन है। सो कहने का मतलब क्या है, अगर तो आपका कन्विक्शन इन्वेस्टमेंट पे आपका राइट है, आप किसी भी मार्केट फॉल को भूल जाओ, चाहे 2 दिन के लिए गिरे, 20 दिन के लिए गिरे, यू विल कम बैक टू इट्स। जैसे पेंडुलम होता है ना, ऐसे गिरता है तो अपने आप आ जाता है। योर इन्वेस्टमेंट विल कम बैक टू शेप, बट मेक श्योर बिफोर इन्वेस्टिंग you are convinced that why you are doing this investment. Don't take tips. आप किसी से टिप्स मत लो। आप जब बीमार पड़ते हो, क्या आप जाके पड़ोसी से पूछते हो कि आपने क्या दवाई ली थी सर दर्द पे या पेट दर्द पे? यू गो टू अ डॉक्टर, यू गो टू अ डॉक्टर, यू पे वॉट एवर फीस ही चार्जेस। वॉट हैपन्स, आज तक कभी आपने डॉक्टर से पूछा दवाई लिखने से पहले, सर थोड़ा सा 500 रुपये कम कर दीजिए ना? कभी आपने पूछा डॉक्टर से? जिस दिन उसने फीस कम कर दी ना, आपका प्रिस्क्रिप्शन खराब हो जाएगा। सर ने बोला नो योर ब्रोकर, बोला था ना आपने। आप पहले ब्रोकर से पहले आप जिससे एडवाइस ले रहे हो ना, उसकी क्वालिफिकेशन देखो कि वो कितने साल से ये काम कर रहा है। ब्रोकर तो कोई भी हो सकता है। ब्रोकर का नाम अभी पहले सेशन में बताया तो था, कौन से बड़े ब्रोकर डिफॉल्ट हो गए, हुआ था। आप जिससे पहले एडवाइस ले रहे हो, पहले उससे पूछो आप ये काम, एडवाइस का काम कितने साल से कर रहे हो? 2 साल से कर रहे हो, 20 साल से कर रहे हो, कितने साल से कर रहे हो? और प्लीज मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, आप जिस भी इंटरमीडिएरी को चूज कर रहे हो ना, आप उससे नेगोशिएट मत कीजिएगा। आपने जिस दिन उसके साथ नेगोशिएट किया ना, आपका पोर्टफोलियो की ना ऐसी की तैसी में रहेगा वो, क्योंकि उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा आपका नुकसान 5 लाख हुआ है या 50 लाख हुआ है, मैं बता रहा हूं मैं। लेकिन अगर आपने मॉरली उस पर ट्रस्ट किया, उसके एजुकेशन पे ट्रस्ट किया, उसके क्वालिफिकेशन पे ट्रस्ट किया, ही विल स्टे विथ यू फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड दैट इज माय आंसर।
I think participate from मुझे लगता है कि लंच बिल्कुल पास है, लेकिन लंच तक मुझे आपको सबों को जगा के रखना है और आपका इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट करके रखना है। और हमारी सक्सेस जब ही है when people are ready to forgo lunch, जब उनको लगे कि यहाँ जो खाना मिल रहा है इनके डायलॉग से वो शायद लंच से ज़्यादा बेटर है। I think that is the target I have set for my panels. चलिए, so now अनुज, आप जानते हैं अनुज इज ए पीपल फ्रॉम दी कॉमिटीज में संजय जी ने पिछले सेशन में काफ़ी अच्छी बात की थी। सो टू टेक फॉरवर्ड, बिकॉज जब भी हम इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात करते हैं, लेट अस बी वेरी क्लियर, वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ ए इन्वेस्टमेंट एज ए ऑल एसेट क्लास। वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग ओनली ऑफ द इक्विटी और द RTI और द रेट्स और मे बी एनी अदर मॉडल्स। अल्टीमेटली the wisdom says it has to be purely scattered, but the basic rules are the same. Whether you are buying gold, so still you require the same thing, the same presence of mind, or whether you are buying equity, SME or non-SME, I think the basic rules of the game are the same. So over to Anuj.
Thank you, Naresh ji. Thank you, SHM, for inviting me to share my view here. सो जैसा कि जैन सर ने कहा कि जो नो योर ब्रोकर, तो यहाँ पर एक इम्पॉर्टेंट आता है नो योर एडवाइज़र, राइट। तो एडवाइज़र जो है इट इज़ जस्ट लाइक अ डॉक्टर, योर फाइनेंशियल डॉक्टर, कि आपको अपना एडवाइज़र कैसा चुनना है, राइट। सो आई यूज टू कम इन ऑल मीडिया चैनल्स लाइक CNBC, जी बिजनेस, ET नाउ, NDTV, इन एवरी चैनल। सो आज के टाइम में जो मैं व्यू किया है, क्योंकि मैं पिछले 20 साल से रेगुलर TV पे आ रहा हूँ, तो आज से 20 साल पहले का जो इन्वेस्टर था और आज का जो इन्वेस्टर है, सब बहुत चेंज देखने को मिला है। जो पहले का इन्वेस्टर था, दे ऑलवेज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि मार्केट क्या लग रहा है, राइट। आज का जो इन्वेस्टर है, दे कम्स विद द फिगर्स कि आई हैव बॉट दिस शेयर्स, आई बॉट दिस कमोडिटी, आई बॉट दिस स्टॉक, आई बॉट दिस एसेट क्लास, नाउ व्हाट यू थिंक अबाउट द नेक्स्ट टारगेट लेवल। सो बिकॉज जो करंट टाइम है, दैट इज वेल इक्विप्ड बाय द डिफरेंट इंपॉर्टेंट डेटाज। आज अगर आप बात करेंगे ट्रेडिशनल वे की, तो पीपल आर यूज टू ट्रेड विद ऑन अ फोनो, राइट, विद सिट इन द ब्रोकर ऑफिस, वहाँ पे बैठ के ट्रेड करते थे। उसके बाद स्टार्ट हुआ टेलीफोनिक, कि आपने डीलर को फ़ोन किया और आप ट्रेड कर रहे हैं। राइट नाउ इट्स अ टाइम टू ट्रेड ऑन योर मोबाइल फोन बाय द मोबाइल ऐप्स। और जो मोबाइल ऐप्स है, इट्स ओनली यू कैन से इट्स द फुल ऑफ डेटाज। देयर आर सो मैनी सॉफ्टवेयर, देयर आर सो मैनी थिंग्स अवेलेबल इन द mobile app where you can easily judge your investment trades. And now it's a time for the algo trading, right? So if you want to trade, if somebody trade on the behalf of you, now this is a time of algo trading. So here, the transition of the trading is almost, you can say, changed differently. Earlier people are used to trade, now the machine are used to trade on the behalf of you. So the concept of the market is changed differently. People are very well equipped, people are very informed, and now the people are now looking towards the portfolio diversification. Earlier people are not used to diversify the portfolio. People, जो लोग थे इन्वेस्टर थे, वो पोर्टफोलियो को डाइवर्सिफाई नहीं करते थे. आज के टाइम में जो इन्वेस्टर हैं, दे आर वेरी वेल इक्विप्ड एंड वेरी नॉलेजेबल कि उनको अपना पोर्टफोलियो को डाइवर्सिफाई करना है. क्योंकि हमने जो 2008 में क्रैश देखा, अभी हम देख रहे हैं 20,000 को 8 पॉइंट से बचकर हम वापस 19,300 पे आ गए. तो पीपल आर लुकिंग कि आपको कहाँ पैसे को इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है. तो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पीपल आर लुकिंग डिफरेंट द एसेट क्लास. तो उसमें से एक एसेट क्लास है कमोडिटी. तो कमोडिटी बेसिकली क्या है कि आपको कहीं पर भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है, आपको कहीं भी अनसर्टेनिटी लगती है, आपको कहीं पर भी आपको लगता है कि आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, देन यू कैन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन द कमोडिटीज. कमोडिटी मीन्स अ गोल्ड, सिल्वर. एंड इवन इफ यू सी हाउ मेनी आप में से कितने लोगों को पता है जीरे का प्राइस कितना है अभी? जीरा क्या भाव चल रहा है अभी? 800 रुपीज. आज से 2 साल पहले कितना था? 200 रुपीज. तो एनीबडी हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन जीरा? एवरीबडी. बट उसकी क्वांटिटी क्या है? 250 ग्राम. चाहे वो 200 रुपये हो, चाहे वो 800 रुपये, आपको 250 ग्राम ही खरीदना है पूरे साल के लिए. बट एवरीबडी थिंकिंग कि यार मैं उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट करके पैसा कमा सकता हूँ. आई विजिटेड टू द ऊंझा मंडी. दिस इज अ वेरी बिग मंडी ऑफ द जीरा. तो वहां पर मैंने देखा कि लोगों ने जीरे के थ्रू कितने बड़ी वेल्थ बनाई है. दे होल्ड जीरा एट 100 रुपीज, 200 रुपीज. नाउ दे आर सेलिंग जीरा एट 800 रुपीज. यू कैन इमेजिन कि इट्स इंक्रीज बाय 300% इन लास्ट 2 years. राइट. सो कमोडिटी, और आप किसी भी स्टॉक को उठा के देख लो स्टॉक मार्केट में, आप जो आपके माइंड में स्टॉक आ रहा हो आप उसको उठा के देख लो, इट इज रिलेटेड टू द कमोडिटी. चाहे आपका बैंक हो, बैंक इट इज रिलेटेड टू द एग्रीकल्चर फाइनेंस. आप फाइनेंस कंपनी को देख लो, आप महिंद्रा फाइनेंस को देख लो, इट इज रिलेटेड टू द एग्रीकल्चर इक्विपमेंट फाइनेंस. राइट. आईटीसी को देख लो, एग्रीकल्चर. बैंक देख लो, एग्रीकल्चर. राइट. अब जो स्टॉक उठा के देखेंगे दैट इज टोटली डिपेंड ऑन द मेटल स्टॉक. आप मेटल स्टॉक देख लीजिए, दैट इज डिपेंड ऑन द मेटल. आप आईओसी को, ओएनजीसी को देख लो, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द क्रूड ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस. तो ऐसा कोई भी स्टॉक नहीं है जो कमोडिटी से रिलेटेड ना हो. तो आज के टाइम में मैं ये बोलूं कि ना आई एम ट्रैकिंग ओनली द कमोडिटी, नो, आई एम ट्रैकिंग द ग्लोब. सो अगर आपको ट्रेडिंग करना है, आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है, तो यू हैव टू कीप आईज ऑन ऑल द प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट. यू कैन नॉट से दैट आई एम ट्रैकिंग ओनली द इक्विटी, बिकॉज ऑल आर इंटर रिलेटेड. हमने देखा रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर चल रहा है, उसके चलते आप देखेंगे कि दैट इज, these are two economies which are totally based on commodities. First is for crude oil and second is for surajmukhi ka tel, right? So these and the wheat, these are very big producer Russia. So जो ये दो economies हैं, that is totally running with the commodities. And उसके आप देखेंगे कि कहीं ना कहीं जो पूरे globe के अंदर एक situation है, that is due to only to the commodities. Why OPEC members are afraid about that? Because they are producing only the crude oil, because this is the bread and butter for the OPEC countries, right? Why US is afraid about the inflation? Because they think that inflation is the biggest challenge for the US economy. And inflation कहाँ से आया US में? From the property, from the crude oil prices, not for the shares. So inflation is basically, and the afraid and the the decision making, why they are doing the today's meeting, Jackson Hole meeting. The agenda of the Jackson Hole meeting is only to curb the inflation, to increase the interest rate. So whenever you talk about the increased interest rate, you will see a movement in the commodity market. So start investing in commodity, might be in 5%, 10%, 20%, whichever you want. However, how much gold we have in India? Any answer? How much gold we have in India? Yes, this is unofficial figure, which is having by the household, right? So इंडिया के अंदर ऐसा नहीं है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट कोई नया सब्जेक्ट है, दैट इज अ वेरी ओल्ड. रिसेशन के टाइम पर आपको पता है कि इंडिया के अंदर रिसेशन नहीं आया था, बिकॉज व्हेन वी अर्न 100 रुपीज वी इन्वेस्टेड 70 रुपीज एंड 30 ओनली एक्सपेंस. तो भारत के अंदर अभी भी जो एक स्ट्रेटेजी है कि आपको 70 रुपये बचा के रखने हैं और 30 रुपये आपको खर्च करने हैं. तो इसलिए इंडिया के अंदर रिसेशन उस टाइम पर भी नहीं आया था. उस टाइम भी आपने देखा होगा कि कई कंपनीज ने काफ़ी अच्छे बोनसेस दिए थे, काफ़ी अच्छी इंक्रीमेंट्स दिए थे 2008 में. तो कहीं ना कहीं जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है दैट इज वेरी ओल्ड फॉर द India. But now the concept has been changed with the new ways, concept has been changed with the new thoughts, concept has been changed with the new tools. So we can use these tools to increase our returns. However, gold is giving 7% kind of return every year, if you see. But if I want to increase my return, if I want to increase my portfolio return, so we can use this kind of product, because now every broker, just like I'm from the SDFC Security, so we have a app. You can download this app where you can get all the important details. You can have all the important tools, how you can invest, how you can increase your returns, how you can increase your portfolio wealth. So as Jan sir said, that the wealth is a very important part for that. So definitely if you invest in the right manner, in the right way, with the right knowledge, with the right broker, with the right app, with the right information, then you will definitely increase your wealth. Thank you very much.
So, are you getting value for the money? हाथ बढ़ाइए, तालियां जोर से बजाइए. Okay, so next speaker is Amit from CDSL. I think very senior functionary from CDSL, and the simple question which we are giving to him is the new products from the depository point of view. I think to start with, it was only holding your statement for your shares. Then unification came, then NSDL, CDSL combined. Now across all DPs you can get. The government is very keen. Why not this simple statement give you all details of your insurance policies? Why not you get the details of your FDs? Why don't you get details of other corporate debts? Even NPS has recently tied up, now you are all pensions, product, pension value, pension, everything. I think they are already live. Maybe this month itself, your pension details will come on the common statement. So what is the role of depository in transformation and getting and building this investor confidence? That is first question. And second, what are the future plans? How it can be made more meaningful?
Okay. Thank you, Maheshwari ji. First of all, I would like to explain about the depository. Why depository? If we see Indian capital market, so somewhere Indian capital market is around 148-year-olds. Bombay Stock Exchange is the Asia's largest, Asia's oldest stock exchange. So recently it had completed 148 years. And this 148 years, we have seen lots of ups and downs in the capital market. Lots of reforms has come to the capital market. And one of the big reform that happened in capital market was the Depository Act. Depository came in 1996. Since 1875 till 1996, we were dealing in physical form. Then what was the need for the depository system? Why then act was passed and we moved to the electronic system? So there were lots of hurdle with the physical certificate system. Maybe if you are holding, any one of you are holding physical certificates, so they may be facing some challenges. There were lots of problems with the physical certificate system. That's why the depository system was introduced. Like bad deliveries was one of the biggest issues. I have purchased the securities, I have sent it to the company for change in my name and all, but it was been rejected by the RTA or the company, that signature mismatch or fake certificates. These kind of issues were there. And the settlement, like in the morning session, we discussed, now we are moving, we have moved to T+1 successfully. That's a big achievement. And this is because of the depository system only. Because now everything gets settled instantly. You just, on the click of a button, securities will be transferred, securities will be moved out for settlement and all. So that's the reason we have moved to T+1. And with the depository system, we have reached to the mass level. Like in the morning also we discussed that we have more than 11 crore Demat accounts. So that so many people have connected to the market. That's because the depository system only. They have now the faith is there. Earlier the depository system was introduced for keeping your securities only, for keeping the listed company shares which you have purchased. But now the role of depository is also increasing. We have taken lots of initiatives, depositories in the as per the guidelines of regulator or in consultation with the regulator, we have taken lots of initiatives for the investor protection. Few of the investors protection measures which we have taken recently, I would like to explain. Like we are sending the consolidated account statement. If you are having a multiple demat account, you are dealing in mutual funds also. So we are sending the consolidated account statement, where in a single statement you can find all your portfolio related to capital market. You don't need to go on the separate website of the members. You on the monthly you are getting a statement. Just open your statement, tally. Just you can reconcile your portfolio. You can get your portfolio valuation from that. So if you are not getting that consolidated account statement, please register for this e-cash statement, which we are sending on the monthly basis. For the investor protections, people learn from what happened in the past. What frauds has been taken place in the capital market in the past. With these frauds, we have taken few more initiatives. Like in 2020, we came up with a pledge system, margin pledge system. One of the beautiful system I would like to explain that whenever you are dealing in the capital market, you need to keep some money with the member to allow you to trade in the market. That is being called a margin money. And that margin money either you can keep in the form of money, or you can keep your securities also as a margin money. So earlier, for keeping the margin, investors need to transfer the securities to the member's account, to the broker's account. But we have came up with a system, margin pledge system. You don't need to move this the securities to the member's account now. This system came in 2020. Now you can just place the securities in the member's favor, and member can replace it to the exchange favor to get the margin. So that system also has been introduced by the depository, and making investors more and more safe. Other systems, other measures which we have taken is related to the off-market transaction. Now, to secure the off-market transactions, we have come up with an OTP system. Like whenever you transfer this securities from one account to other account, it will not be transferred immediately. It will be kept in the system. You will get a message that you are trying to transfer the securities from your account to that account, this particular securities. And investors need to confirm that transactions through an OTP based mechanism. You need to go to our website, the depository's website, confirm the transaction, and based on that confirmation, securities will be transferred to the other investor's account, the other account. So these kind of initiative depositories have taken for safeguard of the investors. Now we are what more we are planning. We are working that like I explained about the e-cash statement, consolidated account statement. Currently we are giving the mutual fund as well as securities valuation in the in this consolidated account statement. Now we are working that other investments can also be included in that consolidated account statement. We are working with the NPS, that if you are having an NPS statement, that can also be included in this e-consolidated account statement. We are also working on the some other investment parts that if that investments those investment portfolio can also be included in this consolidated account statement. So I hope that it will also come into the consolidated account statement. Then you will have a single statement where you can track all your portfolio. So these are the few initiatives which the depositories have taken in consultation with the regulator or as per the guidelines of the regulators. And I think in future depository will not be only ancillary to the broking, only ancillary to the securities. It will have much more features in future. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the Arvinder, our next speaker, is the most relevant to the all investors here and everywhere. Because despite your best of the trust relationship, CKYC, all don't do's, agreement, everything, there may be an occasion where some difference of opinion arises, some investor grievances arises. So Mr. Arvinder takes care of the investor grievances. He will tell you what is the latest process, and I think now SEBI is in a process where all regional coordination committee is coming, where all regions grievances will be taken care of by one exchange. So whether you have grievances in SC, so another exchange will take care of. Whether you have with the MCX, I think the Delhi, what I understand, will goes to BSC only.
Yes, sir.
And when BSC means ultimately all northern India complaint will be taken care of by Mr. So he is the right person if you have any grievance, not the personal issue. Our purpose of discussion here is not the personal case. But if it can act as a policy, where broad guidelines, broad contours of the problems are discussed, and what is the process. So we are taking not the individual cases. Please be very clear, because that may not be good for you also and not for him. Of course, offline if you want to discuss, you can discuss. But basic fundamentals of the IG practices. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Maheshwari ji, and thank you, Asuche. Yes, complaints, जैसे सुंदरेशन सर ने कहा था, confusion हो जाती है कई बारी जब हम trading करते हैं. And इस confusion के पीछे, again it comes down to the same thing, how aware we are. आज सुबह सब सर ने अपना ओपनिंग कमेंट दिया था. सर ने कहा था कुछ इन्फॉर्म्ड इन्वेस्टर्स है, कुछ ओवर इन्फॉर्म्ड इन्वेस्टर्स भी हैं. एंड व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट इन्वेस्टर्स, हमारे को अगेन आज सुबह से जो बात हो रही है, वी वर लुकिंग एट द फैक्ट दैट जो सिटीज़ के इन्वेस्टर्स हैं वो अच्छे से इन्फॉर्म्ड हैं, बट एट द सेम टाइम जहाँ पे अभी तक इतनी अच्छे से अवेयरनेस नहीं पहुँची है, वहाँ पे ज़्यादा दिक्कतें आ रही हैं. Okay, now the markets have been changing. आप ये देखिए the last not even मतलब अगर आप देखें कि outcry session से to online trading and online trading से लेके what we have is high frequency trading, जिसको algo trading कह रहे हैं, it's not even been 25 years, क्योंकि markets became online by about 2000 से लेके अभी तक जो अब हम हो रहा है, कितने changes आ गए हैं. The markets have, you know, they change every 2 years. मार्केट के अंदर कुछ नया आ जाता है. क्या इन्वेस्टर अपने आप को इतनी जल्दी उन चीज़ों को ग्रैस्प कर पा रहा है? आई डोंट थिंक सो. एंड कन्फ्यूजन वहीं से आती है कि जब व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू टू मच. अभी सर ने जैसे बताया कि यू नो सेंसेक्स मूव करता है तो लोग नॉर्मली जब वो टॉप पे जाता है लोग घबरा जाते हैं कि तब बाइंग करनी शुरू कर देते हैं, जब गिरता है तब घबरा जाते हैं. इस सिंपल सी बात है, जब डिस्काउंट आती है, जब दिवाली का डिस्काउंट लगता है, जब किसी फेस्टिवल का डिस्काउंट लगता है, तब हम लोग तो खरीदते हैं चीज़ें. तो व्हाई नॉट द सेम थिंग व्हेन वी आर डूइंग इट इन दी स्टॉक मार्केट. हम लोग हमेशा स्टॉक मार्केट के अंदर तब क्यों घुसते हैं कि व्हेन इट इज़ यू नो टचिंग द रूफ, तो वहाँ से और कहाँ जाएगा, वो नीचे ही तो आएगा. सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द फैक्ट दैट हमारे को जब मार्केट में पैसे लगाने हैं तो वी ऑल्सो हैव टू सेट अवर गोल राइट. हम जब गोल सेटिंग की बात करते हैं, दो वी आर वेरी गुड एट सेविंग, वी आर वेरी बैड एट सेटिंग अवर गोल्स. ये बात हमारे को मान के चलनी पड़ेगी. गोल सेटिंग हमारे से नहीं हो पाती है. अगर आप सिंपल सी एक मैं आपको एग्जांपल लेके चलता हूँ कि व्हाट इज आवर रिटायरमेंट एज. व्हाट इज आवर रिटायरमेंट एज? कैन एनीबडी टेल मी? 60. व्हाट इज आवर इन्वेस्टमेंट एज? हाँ जी, नो इन्वेस्टमेंट एज. सर लीगली 18 साल से ऊपर का जो आदमी है इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकता है. एंड डू यू नो एट व्हाट एज डू वी स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग? इतनी भी बुरी हालत नहीं है, हाँ, लेकिन बाय अराउंड 28, 29, 30 तक की एज ग्रुप में करते हैं. सो 12 साल, सर 18 से लेके 30 तक जो 12 साल है उसमें कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं हुई. ठीक है. In the session before, Mr. Firoz said something क्या कहते हैं, जो डेट मार्केट है इक्विटी मार्केट को आउट परफॉर्म कर देती है 12 सालों में. सर वो जो 12 साल थे वो तो इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नहीं हुई ना. एंड द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट व्हाट वी हैव टेकन इज वी हैव गॉन टू colleges and schools and started informing everybody. There was talk of companies informing their employees. Why not parents also talking about investments to the children? अभी भी मैं बहुत बारी बैंक में जाता हूं तो ऐसा होता है, वहां पे यू हैव अ वेरी सीनियर पर्सन, बड़े आराम से पूछेगा ये चेक का नंबर यही है ना। सो अगर हमने बच्चों को, लोगों को चेक नंबर तक का नहीं बताया तो स्टॉक मार्केट है उसके अंदर इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे करनी है, तो डेफिनेटली कंफ्यूजन आने वाली है। एंड देन वी फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग हमारे को एक आदत है, वी लाइक टू बी स्पून फेड। ठीक है, स्कूल्स हैं, कॉलेजेस हैं, चीट शीट्स मिल जाएं जल्दी से, 10 ईयर पेपर्स मिल जाएं, सो दैट हमारे को पता चल जाए व्हाट कैन बी एक्सपेक्ट। सो सेम थिंग इज देयर कि जब हम स्टॉक मार्केट में आते हैं, जब हमारे को खुद सारा कुछ करना पड़ता है तो हम लोग वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा लैग कर जाते हैं। वी डोंट वांट टू कीप आवर सेल्स अपडेटेड। हम लोग ये नहीं देखते कि मेरी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रही है वो सही जगह पे हो रही है कि नहीं, जिन पेपरों पे मैंने साइन करा है इज़ इट राइट फॉर मी और नॉट। जो पेपर्स होते हैं जिनके साथ ब्रोकर के क्लाइंट एग्रीमेंट होता है उसको भी सिंप्लीफाई करती है सेबी ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से। देयर यूज्ड टू बी अबाउट 30-35 सिग्नेचर्स दैट हैड टू बी डन बिफोर, वो भी सिंप्लीफाई हो गया है। बट एट द सेम टाइम रूल्स जो रेगुलेशंस जो आपको खुद के लिए पता होने चाहिए सर, वो तो आपको पता करने ही पड़ेंगे। अगर मैं रोड पे बाइक चला रहा हूँ, अगर मुझे हेलमेट पहनना है तो मुझे पहनना ही है। अगर मेरे को स्पीड लिमिट का ध्यान रखना है तो वो मुझे ही ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, कोई और आके नहीं करेगा। तो इसलिए बहुत सारी कन्फ्यूजन्स होती हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ मिसकम्युनिकेशन हो जाती है कई बार। जब व्हेन यू आर प्लेसिंग एन ऑर्डर यू हैव ओवरसाइट्स हो जाती हैं व्हाइल यू आर प्लेसिंग एन ऑर्डर। एंड यस एट टाइम्स ऐसा भी होता है कि कई बार लोगों के इल इंटेंशंस भी रहती हैं। सो मार्केट में है तो बहुत सारा कुछ रहेगा। सो लेट्स नॉट बी कि इस बात को नहीं इग्नोर करते। सो इस चीज़ के साथ साथ सेबी ने जो अपने रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनाए हैं, उस रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस को सेबी ने, सुंदरेशन सर कह रहे थे कि हम कई बारी ज़्यादा कर देते हैं। यस वो ज़्यादा इसलिए करना पड़ता है कि मार्केट्स बहुत जल्दी चेंज हो रही है। सो जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन सेट करे हुए हैं उनके साथ साथ एक इन्वेस्टर्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने के साथ साथ एक इन्वेस्टर को कंप्लेंट्स देने का भी एक बहुत अच्छा सा एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है, दैट इज कोर्स। आपको पास अगर कोई कंप्लेंट होती है, अगर किसी भी टाइम स्टॉक मार्केट के अंदर आपको ट्रेडिंग करते वक्त कहीं कन्फ्यूजन होती है, कहीं आपको लगता है आपके राइट्स जो है चैलेंज हुए हैं या राइट्स जो है अंडरमाइंड हो गए हैं, यू कैन ऑलवेज लॉन्च अ कंप्लेंट विद द एक्सचेंज ऑफ फॉर दैट मैटर इवन विद सेबी। इसके लिए बहुत सारे तरीके हैं। यू कैन डू सो बाय आप हमने देयर आर एवरी स्टेट कैपिटल बाय द वे हैज अ ग्रीवेंस सेल। नो दोस ग्रीवेंस सेल्स जैसे भी सर ने बताया कि कॉमन इन्वेस्टर सर्विस सेंटर हो गए हैं, जहाँ पे कि एक ही सेंटर के अंदर मे इट बी ऑफ एनी एक्सचेंज आपको वहाँ पे जाके आप कंप्लेंट कर सकते हैं। अर्लियर इफ़ यू हैड एन कंप्लेंट विद वन एक्सचेंज, आपको उसी का होगा, कि दूसरे का है तो आपको वहाँ जाके दूसरे एक्सचेंज में आपको जाके करना होता है। सो एक वन शॉप पे जाके आप जा सकते हैं, वहाँ पे कंप्लेंट लॉन्च कर सकते हैं। देन कम्स द प्रॉब्लम, दिस इज विद कि इन्फॉर्म्ड इन्वेस्टर है तो वो कंप्लेंट कर देगा। व्हाट अबाउट एक इन्वेस्टर जो हुज नॉट इन्फॉर्म्ड वेरी वेल? तो व्हाट्स कमिंग नाउ इज कि आप यू कैन गो टू दिस सेंटर्स, या तो फिजिकल फॉर्म में आप कंप्लेंट दे दीजिए। अगर आपको कंप्लेंट करनी नहीं आती है तो वहाँ पे द ऑफिसर विल हेल्प यू लॉन्च अ कंप्लेंट ऑल्सो। सो दिस इज समथिंग विच इज कमिंग न्यू। फिजिकल फॉर्म में दे सकते हो, ऑनलाइन दे सकते हो। एंड वंस दिस इज हैपन, हम जो ग्रीवेंस मैकेनिज्म सेल सेबी ने बनाया है, इट इज़ वेरी रोबस्ट इन नेचर। इट वर्क्स ऑन ए वेरी टाइट टाइमलाइन, जो उसके अंदर उनको टाइम के अंदर अंदर उनको जवाब देने पड़ते हैं। इट्स वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट, आपको पता चलता रहता है कि मेरी कंप्लेंट इस वक्त कौन से ऑफिसर के पास है, वो कितनी रिजॉल्व हो गई है, व्हाट इज़ द नेक्स्ट स्टेप दैट इज़ गोइंग टू हैपन इनटू दिस। इवन इफ आपको अगर लगता है कि नहीं इसके ऊपर ज़्यादा डिलिबरेशन चाहिए, तो वहाँ पे कोर्ट रूम सेशंस भी लगते हैं, जहाँ पे कि देयर इज एन अपॉइंटेड ऑफिसर फ्रॉम सेबी जो उनके पैनल पे होते हैं, हु प्लेस द रोल ऑफ द जज, एंड वो सेटलमेंट कराने की कोशिश करते हैं कि जहाँ पे कि आप बात करके फेस टू फेस अपने पॉइंट्स पुट अप कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे एज इन्वेस्टर्स मैं आप लोग को एक चीज़ जरूर बताना चाहूँगा कि एट टाइम्स जो कंप्लेंट्स होती हैं वो इसलिए सही तरीके से प्रोसेस नहीं हो पाती बिकॉज ऑफ द लैक ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन दैट इज़ प्रोवाइडेड बाय द इन्वेस्टर। इन्वेस्टर अपने contract notes, the information that has been shared by the members, उनको ठीक से collate नहीं करते हैं, उसको ठीक से go through नहीं करते हैं, and this is the reason why majority of the times ऐसा होता है कि जो investors से जो information दे रहे होते हैं, there is something lacking in that information. So please, stock market is a live organism. जैसे आप प्लांट्स को रोज नर्चर करते हैं, स्टॉक मार्केट की इन्वेस्टमेंट को और उसके अंदर जो भी आप कर रहे हैं उसको रेगुलर बेसिस पे फॉलो करें. वो एफडी नहीं है कि 5 साल के बाद जाओ और उसमें से पैसे निकालो. अगर एक्सचेंज से, डिपॉजिटरी से अगर आपके पास कोई मैसेज आ रहा है तो उसको आप पढ़िए, एंड जो रेलेवेंट नहीं है अगर आपको डिलीट करना है तो आप उसको डिलीट कर लीजिए, बट मैसेजेस सारे पढ़िए, ईमेल्स जो आ रही हैं आप उनको सारे पढ़ें. एंड व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप फॉरवर्ड? अब इसके अंदर भी हमको ये समझ आ रहा था कि हाँ बहुत कुछ हो रहा है तो लेट्स गो डिजिटल. सेबी वांट्स टू गो एंड टेक दिस इन द डिजिटल फॉर्मेट. ओडीआर करके है, उसके अंदर क्या है कि आप इसको और अच्छा रिफाइंड हो जाएगा. आप बाय लोग आजकल मोबाइल बहुत यूज़ करते हैं, वॉइस मेल्स भी भेजते हैं, आप वॉइस मेल्स के थ्रू भी उसके अंदर आप कंप्लेंट कर सकते हैं. We have made regulations for the brokers also कि brokers को भी हमने इतना वो इन rules and regulations के बीच में से वो करके रखा है कि every order that is placed फ़ोन करके आपसे order confirmations भी लेते हैं. कई बड़े brokers के पास तो phone lines जो है that is recorded lines भी हैं. वो सारी चीज़ें होने के बावजूद भी अगर कहीं confusion आती है is because of the fact that कि investor जो है अपने कई बार ऐसा होता है कि वो थोड़ा सा relax हो जाता है and अपने जो ऑर्डर्स हैं उनको प्रॉपर्ली फॉलो नहीं कर पाता है. नाउ माय सिंपल रिक्वेस्ट टू यू ऑल इज़ टू अंडरस्टैंड द फैक्ट दैट स्टॉक मार्केट के अंदर जब भी हम पैसे लगा रहे हैं उसको फॉलो अप करने के साथ साथ उसकी एक प्रॉपर कहीं ना कहीं लिख भी लीजिए कि आपने कहाँ कहाँ कैसे करा है, एंड कीप क्रॉस चेकिंग इट विद द अकाउंट स्टेटमेंट्स फ्रॉम द डिपॉजिटरी ऑल्सो. हम लोग डिपॉजिटरी से तो लेना ही भूल जाते हैं कि मेरे अकाउंट में क्या क्या पड़ा है. जो होल्डिंग स्टेटमेंट्स होती हैं हम वो नहीं लेते. एंड दिस इज एंड द रीज़न वाई जब आप कंप्लेंट्स करते हैं कि पहले था अब नहीं है, जैसे सुंदरेशन सर बता रहे थे सुबह कि हाँ किसी को ई स्वैप मिला और वो कहीं पर वो ट्रांसफ़र हो गए एंड दे वर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ इट. दीज आर थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू टेक केयर ऑफ, एंड यू कैन येस कहीं पर भी लगे कि मेरे साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है यू कैन लॉन्च अ कंप्लेंट. कंप्लेंट्स जो है बहुत अच्छे तरीके से डिटेल्ड तरीके से फॉलो अप करी जाती हैं. देयर इज़ अ कंफर्मेशन विच इज़ गिवन इन राइटिंग द ऑल, सारा कुछ आपको दिया जाता है. ठीक है, एंड देन वी कैन हैव फर्दर डिस्कशंस ऑन दिस. फॉर द मोमेंट दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड.
So now Aniket, last speaker but not the least. I think
Yes,
you have
sir.
got two added benefit. First is the floor is open for you because all things whatever we have left.
Yeah,
So
everyone
you can cover whatever is left, and then second added benefit is that you can conclude whatever you think, any supplementaries on any of the issues. So over to Aniket.
Okay, thank you, sir. So first of all, everyone has clarified all the questions, I hope. So few things which I want to clarify that basically stock market is a very vast and technical thing, right? So it has various risks involved. So every time you invest in something asset class, you need to understand what are the risks associated with each asset class. If maybe some of them can opt for more risky products, some cannot, depending upon the criteria, depending on the income, the age. So all these things to be cleared off. Okay, and so we have, so I have only basically 3 sutras for your investing and growing your money. So first is invest in business that you understand. So basically here means कोई पूछते हैं मेरे से कि सर बताओ कि कौन सा स्टॉक्स लिया जाए, कैसे लिया जाए, कौन सा स्टॉक सिलेक्शन किया जाए. तो बेसिकली मेरा आंसर इतना होता है कि बहुत लोग बोलते हैं टेक्निकल एनालिसिस करो, फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस करो. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स, बट इफ़ अगर देखा जाए तो सिंप्लीफाई कैसे कर सकते हैं. तो इफ़ मैं अगर मेन से पूछूं कि व्हाट आर दे ग्रूमिंग प्रोडक्ट्स, अगर वो शेविंग किससे करते हैं तो उनके पास सिर्फ एक ही आंसर होगा, जिलेट, राइट. आई डोंट थिंक एनीवन यूजेस रादर देन जिलेट एनी अदर razors and all. So identify such products that has monopoly in the market, who are the market leaders. So you can invest there. So first sutra was this. So second was be patient and smart. So always don't try to time the market. Don't have patience. Be smart. Do your research. Do your homework. Right. So third is the always follow the fundamentals. Right. Do your homework. What you need to understand about the company, the EIC approach, the technical approach. All the things should be kept in mind. So these were the few things which I needed to say. So I think everyone is obviously very sitting for a long period of time. So I think that's I end here. Thank you.
So should we conclude now, or we can take the question answer later on one-to-one, because already time is already. So we can conclude this and we can take the question one and one on the lunch. Okay. So with this, thank you.
Sir, just a closing.
I think what we can do is, I think people have already gone for lunch. So in case anybody wants to have one-on-one, we can assemble here and take it forward. I hope people enjoyed. I think half of the people are already
That
there.
was a superb discussion. With this, we come to the end of the 5th National Conference on Investor Protection Education Awareness. On behalf of ASSOCHAM, may I invite you all for lunch. You were a great audience. Wish you a pleasant evening. Thank you. चले गए सब लंच टाइम